just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you, or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you, or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you, or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you, or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you, or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelming beautiful for you, or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you? Or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you? Or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you? Or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you? Or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you? Or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you? Or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you? Or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you? Or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profoundness of your experience of this life. How profound is it? Is it profound enough that every moment is overwhelmingly beautiful for you? Or is it a lousy drama that's going on? If you have a lousy drama going in your head, don't blame your family, your God or your dog. It's just that you're a bad director. You just have to fix that. Listen to me carefully. There is only one wealth in your life. Things that you wear, things that you stored up, this is not your wealth, this is just a headache. The only wealth that you have in your life is the profound…
Attention is the currency, and many people waste it on distractions.
Discover the art of finding serenity and balance amidst the real tragedy of life. But a large number of successful people on the planet are suffering their success. When I say suffering their success, if you look at people, look at yourself and see you're still young people, most of you. When you're 5 years of age, how happy you were, and today how happy you are. If we make a chart out of it, a graph out of it, is it moving up or down? In 24 hours time, how many moments are you really happy? If you look at this, is it going up or down? Is it going up or down? Down. So that means you're a bad manager. Because after all, everything that you did in your life is in pursuit of happiness, isn't it? All that you're doing in your life, you're doing it because you believe that is your happiness. You educate yourself, you pursue careers, you build families, you run after your ambitions. So many things you do because somewhere you believe fulfilling those things will bring you happiness. After doing all that, if happiness is not multiplying, it is going down, that means you are a bad manager of yourself. Anybody who does not know how to manage his own body, his own mind, his own emotion and his energies, if he's managing outside situations, he's only managing them by accident, not by intent, the way he wants it. Because if you do not know how to manage your mind, how to manage your energies, how to manage your interiority, managing the outside is bound to be accidental. When you manage situations by accident, you exist as an accident. When you exist as an accident, you are a potential calamity. When you exist as a potential calamity, being anxious all the time becomes a natural part of life. Anywhere you go today, people are talking stress management. Especially a few years ago when I first went to United States, wherever I go, people were talking stress management. I could not understand why anybody wants to manage his stress. I can understand you want to manage your business, your finance, your family, your property, whatever. But why would you want to manage stress? It took me a while to understand these people have come to the conclusion that there is no other way to live. Somehow people have come to the conclusion that if you do things in the world, you're bound to be stressful. One is not stressful because of what they're doing. One is stressful because he's a bad manager of himself. He doesn't know how to manage his own systems. That is why he's stressful. It is not the nature of the job which makes one stressful. You ask a chaparasi, he is also stressful. You ask the top executive, he is also stressful. Everybody believes their job is stressful. No job is stressful. If you have no control over your own systems, you will be stressful. Whether you do something or you don't do anything, isn't it so? See, fundamentally management means we want to decide the course of our destiny. That's management, isn't it? We don't want to live here by accident. We want to take our lives where we want to go. That's management, isn't it so? If you're managing by accident, you are not a manager. Without you, things will run better. So once you say I'm a manager, that means somewhere you have decided that you want to go in a particular way. You want to have a certain kind of situation, both inward and outward. So everybody is a manager in his own capacity, but in different levels and different types. Whether you manage a kitchen where you cook for 4 people, or you manage a large industry where 10,000 people work, fundamentally, if you want to have a good kitchen or a good industry, you must be a good manager of that situation, isn't it? So whether you're managing a little kitchen or a large industry, if you want to manage outside situations, generally you will have to manage material and people around you. If you have to manage 10 people or 10,000 people around you, you have to manage 10 minds or 10,000 minds around you. But if you have no management over your own mind, you managing 10,000 minds is going to be a disaster. In the process of doing something, if we are destroying human beings, which is happening right now, in the process of managing a situation, the man is broken, then this kind of management is no good, because after all, every management that we do is only for human well-being. If we are doing management for human well-being, in the process of doing something, in the process of managing situations, it is not only about producing something or making profit. Human beings should rise to their full potential. If we manage a situation properly, in simple process of working, you and the people who are working with you should be able to raise to their full potential. When I say rising to full potential, not just work potential, but as human beings, they must be able to rise to their full potential. If people work together, then people should be able to rise to the peak of their love, peace, compassion within themselves. If this doesn't happen, then it's bad management, because all management, the basic intent is human well-being. If that is not happening, you're just producing something, you're making little profit, but human beings are getting broken in the process. It doesn't mean anything. So if this kind of management has to happen, that just in managing a business, you find people around you raise to their peak. then you have to spend a certain amount of time in focusing on your inner management. If this doesn't happen, you will only manage situations by accident. A lot of people have understood management as a way of throwing their weight around. Can I tell you a joke? Are you okay? On a certain day, a lion was really feeling great within himself. He just was walking and a little rabbit was going, he caught him and roared at him, "Who is the king of the jungle?" The little rabbit, terrified, said, you, of course you." He let him go, swaggered around a little bit. Then he found a fox, caught him. "Who is the king of the jungle?" "Oh my lord, it's you, of course, nobody else but you." Then he swaggered around a little bit, caught a few more animals. Everybody screamed out of fear, "You are the king of the jungle." Then he was in full swagger, like a manager, king of the jungle. Walked into a clearing in the jungle. There was a huge tusker standing. He went, stood in front of him and asked, "Who is the king of the jungle?" The tusker took his trunk, rolled him up, picked him up, twirled him around, smashed him to the ground. His back broke. Then the lion said, "You could have just told me." But the tusker said, "You see, I had to make my point." So, a lot of people generally are thinking management means just throwing their weight around. Throwing your weight around is not management. Any fool can do that. If you manage a situation, not just things happening there, people should feel elevated just being in that space. Otherwise, it is not management. Above all, if you go to a place and you manage a situation, you must feel wonderful being there. If that doesn't happen, you are not a good manager. So if this has to happen, you need an inner dimension. When I say inner dimension, what is inner dimension? When I say inner, I'm not just talking about the body or the mind, because both this body and mind you gathered from outside in certain ways, isn't it? For example, this physical body, when you were a child, this body was only this much. Now it's become this much. How did this happen? How did this happen? That's a question. How did this happen? Food that you ate, isn't it? What you call as my body is actually a heap of food that you gathered. What you call as food is just a piece of earth that you convert it into food and make it into body, isn't it? So this body is just a heap of food that you gathered over a period of time. What you call as my mind is a heap of impressions that you gathered from outside. Now you have a heap of food and a heap of impressions. If this much gathering has to happen, something more than this must exist, isn't it? If you are capable of gathering such a large body and so much mind, there must be something more fundamental than this. But that never comes into your experience. You're just lost in these two heaps, trying to make some sense out of it. Now, as there is a science, as there is a management science for external well-being, there is a management for science for inner well-being. It is just that most of the time we have not approached it scientifically. We're just believing by doing something, somehow everything will be okay. Right now, people are thinking by educating themselves they will live happily ever after, which you will discover after some time it's not so. By getting a job, they think they are going to be happy ever after, which you will discover it is not so. By making money, you think you're going to be happy ever after, you will discover it is not so. Somebody thinks by getting married, they're going to be ever after, and they know it is not so. So, you're trying to somehow fool yourself into believing that by doing something everything will be okay. Though repeatedly it has let you down, still you believe that something else, some other miracle will make everything okay. It will not be okay. It once happened. On a certain day, a bull and a pheasant were grazing on the field. You know, a bull, a pheasant, a bird. The bull was grazing on the grass, the pheasant was picking ticks off the bull. They're partners, you know. Then the pheasant looked at a huge tree which was at the edge of the field and very nostalgically said, "Alas, there was a time when I could fly to the topmost branch of the tree. But today, I do not have the strength even to fly to the first branch of the tree." The bull very nonchalantly said, "That's no problem. Eat a little bit of my dung every day. You will see within a fortnight's time you will reach the top of the tree." The pheasant said, "Oh, come off it. How is that possible?" The bull said, "Really, please try and see. The whole humanity is on it. You could try too." Very hesitantly, the pheasant started pecking at the dung. And lo, on the very first day, it reached the first branch of the tree. In a fortnight's time, it reached the topmost branch of the tree. It just went and sat on the topmost branch and just looking at the scenery, enjoying it. The old farmer saw a fat old pheasant on the top of the tree. He took out his shotgun and shot him off the tree. So the moral of the story is, even bullshit can get you to the top, but never lets you stay there. So, if you are seeking a life of fulfillment, if you are seeking a life of joy and peace and well-being within yourself, don't try to pull yourself in some way. You must do the right thing, otherwise it won't work. Now that you are managers, or to be managers, probably, definitely, I hope they have taught you that unless you do the right thing, it doesn't work with outside. The same goes with the inside. Unless you do the right thing, it just doesn't work. You may just pull yourself to believe that this will make me all right, that will make me all right. Yes, for a moment, but the next moment you crash. Please see, successful people, unsuccessful people, just look at their lives and see in 24 hours, how many moments are they really joyful? How many? You go on the street and see how many joyful faces do you see on the street? Very, very few, isn't it so? Yes, if you see any, usually they are young faces. Over 30 faces are all long faces. What's happened to them? For most of them, their lives have worked out far better than they ever imagined. If you look at yourself as a generation, never before another generation of people have been this comfortable and this well physically as you are right now, isn't it? Isn't it so? We are the most comfortable generation. No other generation has known these kind of comforts and conveniences. But still, are we any happier than what people were? This is simply because we did not do inner management. We just did external management, no inner management. In the process of creating what we want, the very source of our life, this planet, we're just destroying, isn't it? In pursuit of our happiness, we are just making a bonfire out of this planet, but still we are not satisfied, nor are we any more joyful than what we were 500 years ago as people were, isn't it? So somewhere we have neglected the interiority. So to turn inward, what is needed? One reason why most young people here have never made any effort to turn inward is because today, any thinking person, the moment he can read ABC, speak English, and he has extra alphabets next to his name, he develops an allergy towards anything spiritual. This is not your fault. These so-called spiritual people have made such jokers out of themselves. They have presented spirituality in such terrible ways, ridiculous ways, that anybody who has any sense doesn't want to go anywhere near it. See, spirituality means to know something which is beyond the physical. Right now, if you exist as a physical entity, as a body, as a mind, because both these things are accumulations from outside, whatever happens outside will happen inside. If what happens outside begins to happen within you all the time, then you being peaceful and happy is always accidental. Because it doesn't matter who you are, how powerful you are, how great a manager you are, external situations will never be 100% in your control. That's the nature of the life. Even if you're just two people in the family, still you don't have absolute control over the situation, isn't it so? As the scope and play of your life increases, you have less and less control over the situations in which you live. That's the reality of life. So if whatever is happening outside is happening within you, you being peaceful and happy in your life is a faraway thing. It's never going to happen. Only when a person begins to experience a dimension beyond the physical within himself, then he can play with the physical world whichever way he wants. He can do the best that he can do with the outside world, but the interiority is undisturbed, always the way you want it. The outside world will not happen the way we want it 100%. At least the inner world should happen the way we want it, isn't it so? Isn't it so? The outside will never happen 100% the way we want it. That's the reality of life. But at least this one should happen the way we want it. If this is also not happening the way you want it, if your body, if your mind, if your emotions, if your energies are not functioning the way you want it, then this is the worst kind of slavery, because somebody else decides what should happen within you. If somebody else decides what should happen around you, that itself you call it slavery, isn't it so? Yes? Are we in talking terms or no? Oh, that's fine. If somebody decides what should happen around you, that itself you call as slavery. But if someone decides what should happen within you, is it not a more horrible way of being a slave? But please see, the whole world is in it. The only consolation is everybody is like this. Now that you're learning management as a science, I would like you to understand there is a whole science of inner management. If you don't learn that, you may manage businesses, you may manage industry, but still you will not live a life of fulfillment and well-being. If you want to live a life of fulfillment and well-being and offer the same to people around you, it's extremely important you know what it means to manage your interiority. I really don't know how you feel today, going out of probably the last step of your education, or at least one step of your education, a major step of your education. Because when I studied in the university, I did not go to my convocation. Somewhere, right from my childhood. Are you okay for a story? Right from my childhood, they want everything pure. But such a thing will not happen, because the filth of the world has one way or the other has entered our minds. Whether we empower that filth or not is all the option that we have. But we cannot avoid filth. It is there. All the nonsense that can happen in the world, you know in your head, isn't it? So one set of people develop allergy and try to run away, which they can never do, really. Another set of people, a large segment of people, unfortunately, have come to their own kind of philosophies. Anyway, world is full of filth. Let me also become filth. So they have joined that, they have merged into the filth. What we call as filth can also be great manure. Indian spirituality has always used lotus as a symbolism. A lotus flower has always been the… as they spend from their own pockets and do things. And you need to understand, managing these people, managing volunteers is much more difficult than managing paid employees, because you can't fire them. You can never fire them for inefficiency or indiscipline or whatever, because they're there on a voluntary basis. So people who manage these situations, very young people without any qualifications, they are such fantastic managers of people. The way they manage the situations, the way they conduct thousands of people has set such a exemplary example in the community there. I would take this opportunity someday that when it's possible you visit Isha Yoga Center as to how things are managed. So simply, because management doesn't come… I know you need to learn about fit. See, if you step out into the world, something may happen to you. Possible? Possible? Anything may happen. Life may happen, death may happen, injury may happen, terrible things may happen, wonderful things may happen. So, one day something little terrible happened to you. So now, you come to your philosophy, don't step out of your house. Something terrible may happen to you. Yes, it may happen. But something absolutely wonderful can happen to you. So if you contain yourself, you can avoid both. Essentially, you are trying to insulate yourself against life. People come to me and say, Sadhguru, please bless us, nothing should happen to us. I say, what kind of blessing is this? My blessing is let everything happen to you. Let everything that's life happen to you. See, if you step out into the world, something may happen to you. Possible? Possible? Anything may happen. Life may happen, death may happen, injury may happen, terrible things may happen, wonderful things may happen. So, one day something little terrible happened to you. So now, you come to your philosophy, don't step out of your house. Something terrible may happen to you. Yes, it may happen. But something absolutely wonderful can happen to you. So if you contain yourself, you can avoid both. Essentially, you are trying to insulate yourself against life. People come to me and say, Sadhguru, please bless us, nothing should happen to us. I say, what kind of blessing is this? My blessing is let everything happen to you. Let everything that's life happen to you. See, if you step out into the world, something may happen to you. Possible? Possible? Anything may happen. Life may happen, death may happen, injury may happen, terrible things may happen, wonderful things may happen. So, one day something little terrible happened to you. So now, you come to your philosophy, don't step out of your house. Something terrible may happen to you. Yes, it may happen. But something absolutely wonderful can happen to you. So if you contain yourself, you can avoid both. Essentially, you are trying to insulate yourself against life. People come to me and say, Sadhguru, please bless us, nothing should happen to us. I say, what kind of blessing is this? My blessing is let everything happen to you. Let everything that's life happen to you. See, if you step out into the world, something may happen to you. Possible? Possible? Anything may happen. Life may happen, death may happen, injury may happen, terrible things may happen, wonderful things may happen. So, one day something little terrible happened to you. So now, you come to your philosophy. Don't step out of your house. Something terrible may happen to you. Yes, it may happen. But something absolutely wonderful can happen to you. So if you contain yourself, you can avoid both. Essentially, you are trying to insulate yourself against life. People come to me and say, Sadhguru, please bless us, nothing should happen to us. I say, what kind of blessing is this? My blessing is let everything happen to you. Let everything that's life happen to you. See, if you step out into the world, something may happen to you, but you praise God. Whatever human experience, love or hate, whatever, happens only within you. Love is not a relationship. A relationship is a different thing. Love is a certain sweetness of your emotion. Whether you look at a tree, or a dog, or a man, or a woman, or a child, or just at the sky, why can't you look at it lovingly? You have always associated love with somebody. No, no, no. This is not about somebody. Love is not something that you do. It is something that you can become. If you're willing, you can become love. You can make your emotion into a very sweet space if you learn to be loving by your own nature, not because of somebody else or something else. If you just become love, not love somebody, then you will know the nature of love. Whatever human experience, love or hate, whatever, happens only within you. Love is not a relationship. A relationship is a different thing. Love is a certain sweetness of your emotion. Whether you look at a tree, or a dog, or a man, or a woman, or a child, or just at the sky, why can't you look at it lovingly? You have always associated love with somebody. No, no, no. This is not about somebody. Love is not something that you do. It is something that you can become. If you're willing, you can become love. You can make your emotion into a very sweet space if you learn to be loving by your own nature, not because of somebody else or something else. If you just become love, not love somebody, then you will know the nature of love. Whatever human experience, love or hate, whatever, happens only within you. Love is not a relationship. A relationship is a different thing. Love is a certain sweetness of your emotion. Whether you look at a tree, or a dog, or a man, or a woman, or a child, or just at the sky, why can't you look at it lovingly? You have always associated love with somebody. No, no, no. This is not about somebody. Love is not something that you do. It is something that you can become. If you're willing, you can become love. You can make your emotion into a very sweet space if you learn to be loving by your own nature, not because of somebody else or something else. If you just become love, not love somebody, then you will know the nature of love. Whatever human experience, love or hate, whatever, happens only within you. Love is not a relationship. A relationship is a different thing. Love is a certain sweetness of your emotion. Whether you look at a tree, or a dog, or a man, or a woman, or a child, or just at the sky, why can't you look at it lovingly? You have always associated love with somebody. No, no, no. This is not about somebody. Love is not something that you do. It is something that you can become. If you're willing, you can become love. You can make your emotion into a very sweet space if you learn to be loving by your own nature, not because of somebody else or something else. If you just become love, not love somebody, then you will know the nature of love. Whatever human experience, love or hate, whatever, happens only within you. Love is not a relationship. A relationship is a different thing. Love is a certain sweetness of your emotion. Whether you look at a tree, or a dog, or a man, or a woman, or a child, or just at the sky, why can't you look at it lovingly? You have always associated love with somebody. No, 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 this is not about somebody. Love is not something that you do, it is something that you can become. If you're willing, you can become love, you can make your emotion into a very sweet space if you learn to be loving by your own nature, not because of somebody else or something else. If you just become love, not love somebody, then you will know the nature of love. Whatever human experience, love or hate, whatever, happens only within you. Love is not a relationship. A relationship is a different thing. Love is a certain sweetness of your emotion. Whether you look at a tree, or a dog, or a man, or a woman, or a child, or just at the sky, why can't you look at it lovingly? You have always associated love with somebody. No, 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 this is not about somebody. Love is not something that you do, it is something that you can become. If you're willing, you can become love, you can make your emotion into a very sweet space if you learn to be loving by your own nature, not because of somebody else or something else. If you just become love, not love somebody, then you will know the nature of love. Whatever human experience, love or hate, whatever,
The best line I've ever.
Prescriptions for women and say that this is harmful for you, hence don't do it, or this is not harmful and you shouldn't do it. If it's harmful and they still want to do it, they are
Stress is not a part of you. You get stressful because you do not know how to handle your mind. Now you're a student. Being a student is stressful. If you don't find employment when you come out of the college, that is stressful. If you get a job, even more stressful. If you don't get married, that is very stressful. If you get married, I don't want to say anything. It is not your job or your life situations which are stressful. No attention is being paid as to how to handle this mind, how to handle this emotion, how to handle this body, how to handle these energies. Nothing has been done about it. You're managing such a sophisticated system accidentally. If this happened the way you want it, you would be stressful. Stress is not a part of you. You get stressful because you do not know how to handle your mind. Now you're a student. Being a student is stressful. If you don't find employment when you come out of the college, that is stressful. If you get a job, even more stressful. If you don't get married, that is very stressful. If you get married, I don't want to say anything. It is not your job or your life situations which are stressful. No attention is being paid as to how to handle this mind, how to handle this emotion, how to handle this body, how to handle these energies. Nothing has been done about it. You're managing such a sophisticated system accidentally. If this happened the way you want it, you would be stressful. Stress is not a part of you. You get stressful because you do not know how to handle your mind. Now you're a student. Being a student is stressful. If you don't find employment when you come out of the college, that is stressful. If you get a job, even more stressful. If you don't get married, that is very stressful. If you get married, I don't want to say anything. It is not your job or your life situations which are stressful. No attention is being paid as to how to handle this mind, how to handle this emotion, how to handle this body, how to handle these energies. Nothing has been done about it. You're managing such a sophisticated system accidentally. If this happened the way you want it, you wouldn't be stressful. Stress is not a part of you. You get stressful because you do not know how to handle your mind. Now you're a student. Being a student is stressful. If you don't find employment when you come out of the college, that is stressful. If you get a job, even more stressful. If you don't get married, that is very stressful. If you get married, I don't want to say anything. It is not your job or your life situations which are stressful. No attention is being paid as to how to handle this mind, how to handle this emotion, how to handle this body, how to handle these energies. Nothing has been done about it. You're managing such a sophisticated system accidentally. If this happened the way you want it, you wouldn't be stressful. Stress is not a part of you. You get stressful because you do not know how to handle your mind. Now you're a student. Being a student is stressful. If you don't find employment when you come out of the college, that is stressful. If you get a job, even more stressful. If you don't get married, that is very stressful. If you get married, I don't want to say anything. It is not your job or your life situations which are stressful. No attention is being paid as to how to handle this mind, how to handle this emotion, how to handle this body, how to handle these energies. Nothing has been done about it. You're managing such a sophisticated system accidentally. If this happened the way you want it, you wouldn't be stressful. Stress is not a part of you. You get stressful because you do not know how to handle your mind. Now you're a student. Being a student is stressful. If you don't find employment when you come out of the college, that is stressful. If you get a job, even more stressful. If you don't get married, that is very stressful. If you get married, I don't want to say anything. It is not your job or your life situations which are stressful. No attention is being paid as to how to handle this mind, how to handle this emotion, how to handle this body, how to handle these energies. Nothing has been done about it. You're managing such a sophisticated system accidentally. If this happened the way you want it, you wouldn't be stressful. Stress is He thought about it, he looked at many things, and then he said, it's possible. Maybe it was not just a thing. The Western cultures always told people to release their energy by talking, by communicating, sex, and so many other activities, social activities. The East always talked about conserving the energy so that it could be built up in such a point that it will spill from the top, not from somewhere else. If you spill your energies through the senses, then you will know small pleasures, but you will never know the ecstasy of having an intense life within yourself. So intense that you're always constantly at the edge of life. You're very much a part of this world, but you are not of this world. The Western cultures always told people to release their energy by talking, by communicating, sex, and so many other activities, social activities. The East always talked about conserving the energy so that it could be built up in such a point that it will spill from the top, not from somewhere else. If you spill your energies through the senses, then you will know small pleasures, but you will never know the ecstasy of having an intense life within yourself. So intense that you're always constantly at the edge of life. You're very much a part of this world, but you are not of this world. The Western cultures always told people to release their energy by talking, by communicating, sex, and so many other activities, social activities. The East always talked about conserving the energy so that it could be built up in such a point that it will spill from the top, not from somewhere else. If you spill your energies through the senses, then you will know small pleasures, but you will never know the ecstasy of having an intense life within yourself. So intense that you're always constantly at the edge of life. You're very much a part of this world, but you are not of this world.
Just because you listen to those men.
If I succeed, it's me. If I fail, it's me. You have to fix this. I'm just asking you a simple question. Within this, how many people? Hello? How many people within you? One, two, only one. If you're one, you're normal human being. If you're more than one, you're either schizophrenic or you're possessed. You either need a psychiatrist or an exorcist. But you will see whenever things don't go right, another guy will pop up from somewhere. So, becoming an individual means you killed all those pop-ups and just said, this is me. This what is me has many dimensions. If I don't see this as an individual, I cannot divide this further, then transformation will not happen. If transformation does not happen, if people come together in that state, there will be more mess than solutions. All creatures hang out together, whether it is various wild creatures, most of them hang out together. Even monkeys who are just one step behind us, they are also in bunches. It is only human being who can sit alone and transform himself or herself, because this is the prerogative of being human, that we can simply be. This is why you are called human being, you are capable of being. You are not in a compulsive state of activity. If you want, consciously you can evolve. In this evening you can evolve, if you're willing. It doesn't take a million years, because our evolution is not biological anymore, our evolution is conscious. For every other creature, it is fixed. Nature has fixed two lines within which every other creature lives and goes. But once you have come as a human being, there is only bottom line, there is no top line. There is no limit as to how a human being can become. So before we associate ourselves with people, it'll be good every day in the morning or a certain period of your life, if one withdraws to spend a little time with oneself and see how, in what ways can this be little better than the way it was yesterday, this life? How it can be a little better life than what it was yesterday? Because most people are coming together for their needs. To fulfill needs, people come together. Some people come together to fulfill a purpose or a cause. Some people come together to eat, drink and be together because they cannot be alone. This is something that every human being must do. A certain period of time, you do one thing, just 24 hours, take a break from everything, not today, right now you're among people. You take a break sometime, just 24 hours. And don't read, don't watch television, don't use a phone. Simply sit in your room, alert, not sleeping. And if you watch the nature of your mind, you yourself will certify, this is a madman. Because for most people, their mind cannot stay on any one thing. Unless they're in activity, simply they cannot be here. In compulsive state of psychological activity is on. When you are like this, you cannot be. That means you cannot be a human being. Being has to happen. Only then togetherness will be very rich. If you know how to be by yourself, then coming together will be hugely rewarding and of tremendous value. That means we came together consciously. Policy for the country, we are working on it. It may take another year, year and a half before we really come up with this. Because I live my life out of my experience. And my experience of education was just ridiculous. The sisters… No, I'm acknowledging them because I am also a Carmelite. One year, on my second standard, I was in the Christ the King convent, and in my seventh standard, I was in my Nirmala convent. No school would keep me for more than 1 year. Because I never understood, why the hell am I going to the school? Nobody explained to me. It's very… please, whatever I say, please, I want you to listen to this carefully because it could be misunderstood completely. Because when I was 4.5 years of age, one thing struck me, that suddenly I did not know anything. I do not know anything means I do not know anything at all. If somebody gives me a glass of water, I do not know what is water. Well, I know I can drink it, I can use it, I know how to use it, but I don't know what it is. So I keep staring at the water for hours on end. Well, actually the fact is, even today you don't know what is water, if you really look at it. We know how to use it, we know how to destroy it, but we don't know how to… what it is really. With all this scientific exploration, we do not know one single atom in its entirety. We know how to break it, fuse it, make a bomb out of it, all these things we know, but we don't know what it is. So if I found a blade of grass, I'm just staring at it for hours. If I sit up in the night in the bed, I'm simply staring in the darkness. My dear father, being a physician, started thinking that I need psychiatric evaluation. You're just too late. My problem was, I look at this and I don't know what this is. They're asking me to look at that. I just cannot shift my attention, I'm just looking at this. In this condition, they sent me to school. My mother said, don't look here and there, pay attention to the teacher. I went and looked. Absolute attention to the teacher, the kind of attention they'd never received in their life. Many things happened in this, I don't want to go into the detail. When about 9 years ago, this school where I studied for a couple of years, that's the only school where I stayed for 2 years. So they came to invite me for their 125th anniversary. I said, see, why me? I was not just a not good student, I was not even a student. Because I didn't have a textbook, I didn't have a notebook, I just went. I just had a bicycle. I thought it was good enough. So, I said, why me? Please, I'm not a good example for the students. They said, no, no, our school has produced union ministers, our school has produced cricketing stars, film stars, you are the only mystic, you have to come. So I went. So I went and sat there in the quadrangle, the same oppressive buildings. And no, this is my experience, I'm saying. And suddenly I looked at this particular classroom and I remembered, I was 12 years of age. One afternoon, these are times when I don't speak for many days, because when you don't know anything what to say. I'm still trying to drink in the creation around me, I'm paying attention to the leaf, to the… everything. Man, woman, child, animal, plant, anything. I'm just paying attention to everything, I still not figured out a thing. So there's nothing much to say, so I don't speak. So at one point, my father put me through speech and hearing test, thinking I cannot speak. This is the problem of a physician. Then that afternoon, the teacher is trying to get some response from me. After about 35–40 minutes, I'm just looking at him. I don't even hear what he's saying. I know this man's past, present and future, but I don't hear the question. After 35–40 minutes, he got so frustrated and angry with me. He came and held me by the shoulder, shook me like this violently and said, you must either be the divine or the devil. I think you're the later. I didn't feel insulted or abused, I just thought about this. Because till then, I did not know what is this, what is this, what is that, what is that. Everything is a question mark, the entire universe. But I knew one thing, this is me. This guy confused me about that also. I just looked like this. Is this divine, is this devil? What the hell is this? I tried to stare, it didn't work, then I started closing my eyes and sitting. This is how my journey started, because I am trying to figure out what the hell is this, because till now I had one assurance, this is me. Suddenly he confused me about this also. Why I'm telling you this is, see, we have set up education factories to feed for other factories, larger factories. You must all understand, day in and day out when everybody talks economy, 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 you must understand you are just raw material. You're not human beings. That's where we're driving the world, entire world. When economy is the most important thing, this is how you will run the education. There is no time for any tenderness, there is no time for any nurturing, there is no time for anything, because everybody has to pass at a certain age and get into the job and make money, and then in the end, I don't know what, they'll relax in the end when they're 75. So this has to change, but for this to change, we have been in 15–20 generations of poverty in this country. Your parents have relaxed a little bit. My time, our parents were so hyper about how will you earn a living, how will you earn a living. I said, why are you bothered about how do I earn a living? Tell me when you don't want to feed me, I'll just go somewhere. I'm capable of getting my food. And I have no problem of wanting to live like somebody else. I'm not bothered what somebody else has. I know I will never go hungry, I will find my food somehow. I went into the jungle and stayed for 3 weeks by myself, and I managed to survive off the jungle. So I knew if nothing works, I'll go into Western Ghats. So why I'm saying this is, we become too overly concerned about survival process. For the society to relax a little bit, I think economic development is needed. See, these two things are like this. If economic development is much more and there is ease, that if you… let's say you don't pass your examination, you won't fall on the street and get lost. If that assurance is there, everybody will relax a little bit, feet off the throttle. What will you become? I'll become doctor at the age of 3. So from the age of 3, you're wishing a lot of people will be sick in the world. I'm saying it's a completely wrong way of nurturing. Raising children or bringing up human beings is like raising a garden. It's not a factory. In one extruder everybody goes, but that's not going to change in a hurry. So you need to learn how to make the factory feel like a garden a little bit, because in your time it's not going to change. By the time you get out of education, it will… if we start the process now and invest heavily, it may change slowly in the next 20–25 years. That's how it is. Because changing the education system, in thought we can change it, on paper we can change it. Putting it down there, training the necessary people, creating the infrastructure, this is not going to happen. And also we need to reduce our population a little bit. Otherwise it's very difficult to provide good education for everybody.
So there is, since we're talking about education and in education
Are
system,
the people in the upper region still awake and on? Quietly or so.
okay, since we're talking about the Indian education system, one of the main questions that actually came to us, is attendance, is education all about attendance? Because somewhere, yeah, they're awake now. Somewhere, no one wakes up in the morning to say, oh, I'm going to learn something new today.
She wants to become a star in the college.
So, everyone, I think, gets up saying, oh, I don't have attendance to it. I think I need to attend this class. Oh, I have 85 in that, so maybe I can miss one class. I think many of the students here, they don't like maths, but when it comes to calculating the amount of percentage that is required, they're so good at it. I think even Anisha has a question when it comes to motivation and drive as such, especially in college. Yeah. So my main question is, how do we shift that into more of a learning objective than making attendance so dominant in this education system?
I don't want to share my experience of attendance.
What happens with the student body at large is the drive to learn or the drive to acquire knowledge has died down somewhere. So I think this is a question from the student government itself, because we as an organization, as an institution, I think…
You're trying to win the next election also.
won it already. So what happens with a lot of the students in college is we provide them with all of the avenues that they possibly could ask for. The best associations, the best teachers, the best outlook, the best reach, opportunity, name it, and we've given it at some level. But the drive to get them to actually do it, or the drive to get ourselves to actually pick ourselves by the feet and say, this is what I want to do, I want to make use the whole potential of what I've been given. How do we accomplish that? Because I think there's a stage of stagnation. We hit a plateau by third year and we've declined. So how to overcome that stagnation?
As you have been pointing out, as students everywhere, and it's not that teachers and establishment doesn't know about it, they also know. One thing is the massive size of the student body. It's not a small number to experiment and change this and that, it's massive. And if you make any changes, the loopholes that arise in the new system, everybody will exploit the loophole. So, people are averse to change because of this, which is not the right way to approach. But the pressures of running an educational institution, I also know how it is. Talking about attendance, see, I raise my girl with very little interference with what she's doing. So she traveled with me. I was traveling across India, driving myself all the time. So she started traveling with me when she was 3.5 months of age. I just held her down in the front seat, strapped, and drove. Always my right leg is heavy, you know. So she grew up like this in various homes and her exposure to people was tremendous. By the time she's 18 months of age, she's fluently speaking 3 languages. But I made it very clear to everybody, nobody will teach her anything. Do not teach her ABC, Mary had a little lamb. I don't care whether Mary had a lamb or not. So, I made one rule, you can play with her, you can do whatever, nobody is going to teach her 1, 2, 3, ABC, nothing. No rhymes, no nothing. Well, she picked up some cinema tunes, this and that, like Sounds of Isha singing, she picked up those tunes by herself, but nobody taught her anything. Then I thought I'll never send her to school, she can just be with me, but one big problem is you cannot provide that age group company, which is very important. She may become my age when she is still 10, 12. So I sent her to a school which is most relaxed without too many restrictions. When she was 12, 13 years of age, one day she came to me. Something that happened in the school upset her emotionally and she came to me and she said, "You're teaching everybody so many things, you don't tell me anything." I said, "See, I don't teach anything to anybody unsolicited. Now that you've come, we can talk, I think." I said, "This is all you have to know. Never look up to anybody." She looked at me like this. I said, "Even me? Because if you look up to me, you will miss the value of who I am. Maybe you'll hang me on the wall and nail me to the wall and smoke me out of your house with incense. But you will miss the value of who I am. You have to look at me for who I am. So don't look up to anybody. Don't look down on anybody. This is all. Just think through this. Because all human beings have fixed it. Something is good, something is bad, something is high, something is low, something is superior, something is inferior. In this state, there is no education, if you ask me. Only misuse of knowledge. So this is all you have to know. Never look up to anything, never look down on anything. You will become absolutely present and very human. Full-fledged human. And if you become an overflowing humanity, your learning possibilities, your perception will blow up like that. That's what we need to do. But how to do it, they were telling me in these premises there are 10,000 girls. How to do it with 10,000 girls? It's tough. Okay, we will limit it to only 2,000 girls, then there will be strike outside on the street. Why are you not giving us admission? So this is a situation which can't be just fixed simply because somebody changed their mind, you can't fix it. There is a very complex reality there. So for yourself, we can do this, maybe, I don't know, from the student union or from the teacher's side. If we can identify responsible students, responsible need not necessarily mean obedient. Responsible need not necessarily mean they're getting 98 marks in where they should only get 60. So, responsible is different. All I'm saying is, if all of you girls assure the management that our time in the college don't compel us to just necessarily sit in the class, but these 7 or 8 hours we have, we will stay focused on something. We will not sit here and there gossiping, we'll focus on something. If education is a focused time, it doesn't matter what you focus on. Who knows, you may be science, suddenly you may become a better psychiatrist than her, psychologist than her, or she may be psychology, she may just pick up something else. Because choices are made considering so many things at a certain time, that may not be your genuine aptitude. See, there is a certain genius in every human being. Home situation and school situation must fundamentally focus on how to unfold that genius. Unless you create that atmosphere of incubation, it will not flower. Believe me, 99% of the human beings on this planet live and die without ever touching the inner genius that they hold within themselves. It is not just about them, what a loss to humanity. This is why the same stupid things are being debated for thousands of years, because human genius doesn't open. Bunch of idiots. Yes, talking the same damn things forever as if it's something else. What every other creature with a millionth of your brain knows, human being is struggling to figure out. What a grasshopper knows, you're struggling to figure it out. This is not fair. Hello? This is not fair to humanity. I want a higher opinion. Hello, all of you.
It's another topic that is like very sensitive, but it's not talked about as much, is casual relationships that exist in this nice age group that we're in. So yeah, I'm just gonna say good things about us. So people engage in physical relationships today, and what they lack is a lot of emotions. And we want to know if it's opinion, I mean your opinion on it, and whether people do it by choice. Is it healthy? Is it, what to make of it?
Can I tell you a joke? There was one Mrs. Bhatia. No Bhatias? I could change the name. There was one Mrs. Bhatia who was having her 50th wedding anniversary. They had a wedding anniversary. And the next day, she filed for divorce. The judge saw the divorce petition. He was also a good family friend. So he called her and he said, "Why you want to divorce your husband? He's such a sweet little thing. Why do you want to divorce him? On what grounds you want to divorce him?" She said, "He's not been faithful to me. He's been cheating me." How do you come to this conclusion? Just yesterday you had your 50th wedding anniversary. You were fine yesterday. How do you conclude this? I got a little nostalgic and started flipping through the photo album. Then I saw none of my 5 children resemble him. So, right now, do you remember how your great-great-great-great-great-grandmother 10 generations ago looked like? You don't. But her nose is sitting on your face right now. Your body remembers, yes or no? Your body remembers even the skin tone of your forefathers a million years ago. It still remembers, not forgotten. So what you're calling as my body is an enormous amount of memory, isn't it? What you carry in your brain as memory is minuscule. What you carry in your body, there is evolutionary memory, there is genetic memory, there is karmic memory, there are articulate and inarticulate levels of memory. There is so much memory. You think you know how to walk right now. Please understand, only because your body has built up that memory. If your body forgets, you won't be able to walk. So, the amount of memory for every simple thing that you do, you know what to eat, what not to eat, how to eat, you must put it in your mouth, not in your ears. This may look funny, but you would not know if you don't remember. So your body is a repository of tremendous amount of memory and it's picking up all the time. If you walk from here to here, there may be 50 different kinds of mild smells. You may not consciously notice, but the body is picking it up and it recognizes. All the time it's recognizing. That's how you know what is good smell, what is bad smell, this is this smell, that is… You recognize the different aspects of sound, smell, this, that, because constant recognition is happening. So this body memory, traditionally in this culture, we call this as runanubandha. That means physical memory that you build. You can either consciously build your physical memory or you can simply take in wild amounts of memory and go through lots of physical confusion. So wherever there is impact, I don't know if you still have these things, maybe your generation is gone, but still there will be people in Bangalore city. If you ask them to… if you try to give them salt, they won't take it, they'll say keep it there. If you try to give them sesame seeds, they will say please keep it there. Because they have recognized many substances which can easily carry your memory and it will become mine if I take it. So I don't want to take in memory. This is the reason why generally in this culture, touching each other, shaking hands, these things are avoided. We touch our own two hands and do namaskaram because we don't want to go on picking up memory. Because if I as much as touch this memory, it remembers. You try this with 4 of your friends, you touch their hands. Don't try to consciously remember. Every day touch their hands, forget about it. Tomorrow, if that person comes and touches you, you know it's this hand, isn't it? So the body remembers, it's not the mind. The physical body remembers, this is called as runanubandha. When there is a sexual interaction or there is any kind of intimacy which involves thought, emotion and body, the amount of memory that is left in your system is very big. It is from this context they said you must keep this as simple as possible. There are other aspects where in certain tantric process and all they're involving, they are preparing themselves for years to distance themselves from the body in such a way that the body doesn't pick up anything from anywhere. This is being done like a sadhana, not as sexual promiscuity. So, the question is not of morality, the question is of what is it that you want to do with yourself in your life. If you want to be in such a way that in your life, your inner intelligence will be the most dominant thing in your life, not your physical body, then you must keep the body's memory as simple as possible. This is why simple types of food, people go into very simple kind of food, not complicated. Even now, I eat 1 meal a day and I eat only 1 item in the meal. I won't eat 10. I may eat all of those things another day, but today I'll eat only 1 item because it makes a huge… Just experiment and see, don't go by what I'm saying. Just experiment and see, especially when your examination time comes, eat simple food and see what a difference it makes for your intelligence, how it functions, how alert you are, everything. So, what is it that you're trying to build yourself to? Do you want to build yourself to be a sexual supernova? Or… No, I'm saying some people may have that intention, that's up to them. But what is it that you want to do with your life is something that you must decide. If you have decided that, it's very, very important that you don't unconsciously pick up enormous amount of memory because this will lead to… Later on you will see, it'll become very difficult to remain peaceful and joyful in your life, no matter what good things may be happening, simply because there is confusing memories in the system. When something else of similar nature comes, the body goes into a turmoil of confusion. It may not translate into your mind. Just physically, it will go on. So, it's a choice that one has to make. It's not a question of morality, it is a question of living sensibly.
you so much, Sadhguru. Now we shall be entering into the social media questions that our students have been sending in. So the first question is sent in by Shivangi Sharma. Lots have been spoken or debated about feminism. Girls are doing different things in the name of feminism. Is there any meaning to feminism, or are we fighting a non-existing idea?
See, there is a meaning to equal opportunity for all human beings. You should not even consider their gender. Women should have rights. I don't like that. All human beings should have equal opportunity. And they should choose what they want to do. What a man wants to do, what a woman wants to do, it's the choice of an individual. Just thinking all women are same, all men are same is a stupid idea. The requirement is not the same, the drives are not the same, and the aspirations are not the same. So, all women be like this, all women be like that, this is a very… this is the problem. When something is going wrong, people react to that and they think they can correct it by reversing everything. Reverse is not the answer. Reaction is not the answer. What you do in reaction will always lead to one kind of injustice, will lead to another kind of injustice. There are various aspects attached to this, but feminism, if you're importing it from United States, most of the feminists, they didn't live well. They talked and talked and talked, and in the end their life is empty. Not because there is no man, you don't need a man, it's your choice, okay? But the problem is constantly being in a state of reaction doesn't lead to well-being of a human being. This is one species. We should not forget this. These are not two species. This is one species. The species is made in such a way that they have to… There is only possibility to exist together. There is no other way. Question is how much need you have for the opposite gender, or you don't have need for it, that's up to individual choices. But fundamentally there is no such thing as superiority or inferiority. Once again this superiority business has come, or this male domination has happened in various societies, mainly because we made economics the most important thing. Money is the only value. Now, the go-getter in the family is the only value. Let me share this with you. My mother did not earn a rupee in her life, and she didn't care about earning a rupee. But can you think that can you think of that family without her? Is it even a possibility? Rubbish. It's simply rubbish. That somebody thinks, oh, she didn't earn a rupee, so she must have been a slave, so she was a housewife, she worked all the time, nobody paid her. This is just stupid stuff, okay? Because money has become the greatest value. Right now in this town, if you say there is a big man, this doesn't mean he has a big body, we don't value them anymore. It doesn't mean he has a big brain, or a big heart, or big something else. No, he just has big pocket. So this has to change in the society. If money is the only value, male is the only value, I want you to understand this. Today, in the name of feminism, unfortunately, a whole lot of women are desperately trying to be like men. It's not so much in India. If you look in…
Be a multiplier of love and knowledge. Share this video with those you love, and together, let's spread light throughout the world.
Why don't you become a living humanity? Humanity means just this, already we spoke about this. Animal nature means fixing boundaries. Human nature means expanding or including everybody into your boundaries because this is a natural longing. Wherever you are, you want to be something more, something more. What is this? This is because your intelligence has come to a place where it doesn't like boundaries. It wants to expand. This is human nature. Human nature is naturally inclusive. Animal nature is exclusive. It wants to fix boundaries. So instead of being in boundaries of right and wrong, even if somebody is wrong, let's include them and do the best we can. So do not waste your time in right decisions, wrong decisions. When you are reasonably balanced and clear and happy, not frustrated about something, make a decision, throw your life into it, something wonderful will happen. You may not do the right thing, but you may do a great thing. You may do a wonderful thing. That's good enough. How far will I go? What will happen? Well, that depends on various things. Your own intelligence, your competence, and the times in which we exist. You should not discount the times in which we exist. At different times in history, different things take off. We may be in sync with it. What we are may be appreciated today, or what we are may be appreciated tomorrow, or what we are may be appreciated after we are gone. But whatever we did in our life, we did with total involvement, because life is in its involvement. Life is not in its correctness. Your involvement must be unbridled. Whatever you do, see how everybody's well-being is included in this. If you are an inclusive process and you're involved, it is fine. Are you right or wrong? Right or wrong? Till the last day of your life, you cannot really decide what is right and wrong. A human being, at least on this planet, you're the peak of evolution. Physiologically at least. Yes? If other behavioral aspects, if we may have questions. But physiologically at least, the most evolved creature on the planet. What the most evolved creature on the planet means is, it has the most complex neurological system and it has the highest level of cerebral capability. That means you can think, you can remember, you have memory. You have a very vivid sense of memory and a fantastic sense of imagination. An ant doesn't have such a vivid sense of memory, nor does he have any great imagination. He has some. But he has a presence of mind about the life that he is living. Because the education systems that you're going through right from kindergarten level is such that it is about everything except you. It's about everything else. Somebody is PhD in tourism, somebody is PhD in biotechnology, somebody is PhD in something. Nothing about this. How does this function? There is no attention at all. A human being functions. You know, you have a Kalabhairava temple here. What this means is, a human being exists in 3 times. He lives because the richness of his memory. How rich is your memory determines what you will do and what you will not do right now, isn't it so? So memory is important. The present experience is important. And how vivid is your imagination for tomorrow is very important. Right now the problem is, these things have all gotten mixed up because discipline of faculty has simply not come. Nothing has been taught to our children that there needs to be… Discipline means people think English kind of discipline, walking like this like idiots. Discipline of faculty is not there. Because of this, your own mind turns against you. What happened 10 years ago, you still suffer? Hello? What may happen day after tomorrow, you already suffer? Because there's no discipline of faculty. You don't know how to use your memory, you don't know how to use your imagination. Your memory makes you suffer, your imagination makes you suffer, and you think you're suffering your life. You are not suffering your life, you are only suffering the 2 greatest faculties of being human, vivid sense of memory and a fantastic sense of imagination, isn't it so? If you suffer the greatest faculties that you have, what can we do with you? If you suffer an ailment, understandable. If you suffer a disability, understandable. If you suffer your ability, hopeless case. Yes or no? You're suffering your capabilities. If you're suffering your disability, it's all right. You're suffering your capabilities. Because what life throws at us is not our choice always. We try to manage it to some extent, but it's not entirely our choice. Life may throw all kinds of things at us, but what we make out of it is 100% ours. If this one dimension, if we take charge of this, no matter what life throws at me, I will make this into a tremendous process for myself. Let it throw whatever. Doesn't matter what life throws at you, you will turn it into a possibility. You will not make anything into your problem because you're not a problem. This is a choice that every human being has, either for every situation. When I say every situation, there are only situations and situations and situations in our lives. When you don't know how to handle a particular situation, you call that a problem. What's the problem for you may be wonderful possibility for somebody else, usually is. Isn't it? There are no problems in life, they're just situations. You can either make it into a possibility or a problem. You can either you yourself become a possibility or a problem. This is a choice every human being has. But to exercise this choice, you have to be in a certain way within yourself. Within yourself, you are in a certain state of equanimity, balance and exuberance that no matter what life throws at you, you will make it into a wonderful possibility. Life can throw all kinds of horrible things. Don't underestimate life, it can do things to you. Yes? Essentially, the important thing is, this is a life. For every one of you, your life is precious, isn't it? Hello? It's a precious life. If something is precious, where do you want to invest this life? Into what do you want to invest this precious life? If this is a worthless life, throw it somewhere. If this is a precious life, what do you want to invest this life into? If you look at it this way, you will find something truly worthwhile to do. If you think in terms of how to earn a living, how to get this kind of thing, that kind of thing, then you will do something silly that you will regret for the rest of your life. Most people are a regret. That's why they're going around joylessly, because they're not doing what they want to do. They are not creating what really matters to them. They're doing something for a living. This precious life, where are you going to invest it? Are you going to invest it in something that's truly worthwhile, or are you going to throw it away as a worthless thing? This is the important thing, because what you call as my life is just a certain amount of time and energy, isn't it? Yes? As you sit here, your life is ticking away or no? You're young, you may not be thinking like this, but actually it's ticking away. What is ticking away is not time. What is ticking away is your life. Yes or no? So this energy that you call as my life, how are you going to invest it? Because it's going to, if you're doing something truly worthwhile, it gets over before you know what happened. Only if you're doing something worthless, it feels like a long life. Have you noticed this? On a particular day when you're very happy, 24 hours, poof, it went off like that, like a moment. You're miserable, 24 hours feels like 10 years. Have you not noticed this? So only miserable people will have a long life. Joyful people, life goes away like that, as if it's a couple of days. It passes away like that if you are creating what you really care to create. See, if you want to get somewhere in your life, get somewhere does not mean be better than somebody, do this, earn this, that, no. As a life, your experience of life should become a fantastic experience. So right now, all the crazy things that people are doing in their life, why? They drink, sexuality, temple, this, meditation, whatever they're doing. Why are they doing? Because they want their experience of life to become pleasant. Yes or no? Somebody hits the bottle, somebody hits somebody else, and somebody does something else, but essentially looking for pleasantness. If your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. I'm talking yoga now, officially. If your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it pleasure. If your mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it joy. If your emotions become pleasant, we call it love. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If your very life energies become pleasant, we call this blissfulness. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, we call this success. Only for this last one, to make our surroundings pleasant, we need the cooperation of many forces around us. Many things have to fall into place. But to keep your body pleasant, mind pleasant, emotion pleasant, your life energy is pleasant, it's 100% your business. Not good for the business. Isn't it 100% your business to keep this body, this mind, this emotion and this energy pleasant within yourself? I'm asking all of you, tell me, on a day when you're very happy, are you willing to do a lot of things? Or a day when you're depressed, you're willing to do a lot of things? When you're happy, you're willing to bend backwards and do everything possible. When you're a little unhappy, how difficult it is to move you, isn't it? So why do you say if you're blissed out, you'll do nothing? It is just that you will no more be a vested interest. You are not in pursuit of happiness. Your life is an expression of your bliss. Now what will you do? You will do what's needed. Every human being should be doing what is needed, isn't it? Right now, they are trying to milk happiness from the world, destroying the world in the process, completely destroying the world. See, today, what is it that these ecological disasters unfolding, what do you think it is? In pursuit of human happiness, isn't it? Nothing else. In pursuit of human happiness, we have turned this planet into a bonfire and people are not even happy. Forget about being happy, most people are in different state of struggles. So, it's very, very important. What is in your hands? First, all those things must be taken charge of. What we do in the world, let us see to what extent